Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Deep End.
These are your hosts. I'm John.
I'm AJ.
And this is Zar.
Today we are going to talk about a condition which hits almost everyone, whether they are normal, living healthy, or they have a lot of stress and a lot of different problems in their environment. And this is called sleep paralysis. Now, Zar, what exactly is sleep paralysis? I know you're the expert on this one.
Hi, yes. I am very intimate with this subject.
Yes.
Now,
I thought with this girl.
no, just with this subject.
Okay.
Now, according to the most trusted source of information in the internet, Wikipedia,
Illuminati.
sleep paralysis is a phenomenon in which an individual, either during falling asleep or awakening, briefly experiences an inability to move, speak, or react. It is sometimes accompanied by frightening hallucinations to which one is unable to react because of paralysis and perceived physical experiences, such as a strong current running through the upper body. Now, that's a very
Interesting.
it's a very descriptive way of saying what it is. But to be honest, to put it simply, coming from someone who experiences it a lot, sleep paralysis is that something that happens when you're just lying down and you're fully awake but you can't move, and then suddenly weird shit starts happening around you. I'm not sure whether this is some sort of heightened perception or if it's a hallucination or whatever, but you start experiencing things, and
It's scary.
it's scary. You're not able to react. You're not able to defend yourself or get away from it because you're sort of paralyzed.
But so, to put it simply for you guys, sleep paralysis is like a nightmare experience while you're awake, paralyzed in your bed while dark figures lurk nearby. That's the thing, dark figures. No, seriously, a lot of people who experience sleep paralysis say that there are a lot of dark figures. One person I know was sleeping with a cloth on his face. Then suddenly a hand shot up, and his face is like, "What the?"
This maybe I
We
know
have
this.
fighting cats. This is so cute.
Don't I know this person that you're talking about?
Yeah,
I think I know that person too.
yeah. That's Zar.
Yeah, I've experienced a lot of, and I've experienced this a lot of times already, and every single time this happens to me, I'm not really prepared to deal with it. I'm not prepared to deal with it, even though it happens to me a lot back in the day. It doesn't happen as often as it did before.
I think that's one of the conditions on why sleep paralysis happens. Heavy stress.
Yeah.
From overthinking too much, having to deal with a lot of things too much. And sometimes, I know there's this explanation in sleep paralysis that the figures you see, you actually encounter them. For example, you're walking, and your subconscious suddenly puts into record mode. It records the people going around you, doing things, and once it shuts down, and you're like in a place where you can rest, then it gets fucked up, and where you experience the things that you have seen, even though it's not happening to you. You're starting to experience it alone.
So it's like your brain sort of randomly picks files.
Yes, and plays it. And suddenly you are the main character.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up. That's so messed up. And I think right now that the reason why it doesn't happen often to you is you're having a better, what do you call this, a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
There's a better environment. You're basically
Better
working at
friends.
home. Better friends, podcast. Now,
Yeah, a lot of my stress was bottled up before, and there was no way for me to let it all out. Maybe because this often happens when I lie down straight on my back, and
Very-
I have
very
my
supine.
arms raised. Like you're lying down with your arms raised like that behind your head, and you're really tired.
Yeah.
It triggers it, and I always forget that position triggers it for me.
Because you're tired. You're just gonna sleep.
Yeah, and
maybe
I keep
that's
experiencing it.
that's your maybe your brain kickstarts when you go into that position.
Possibly.
Whenever it remembers you having that position. That okay, so he wants to
Suffer.
play this file.
He wants to
He
suffer
wants to
tonight.
suffer tonight.
I'm going to play the demon game.
Yeah, and when this happens, basically I'm sort of awake,
Yeah.
and I can see the room around me. However, there are some extras. There are extra furniture, extra stuff in the
There
room,
was extra people, man.
and extra dark figures. It's a dark figure almost all of the time for me. It's a dark figure, and sometimes it's a gang of dark figures.
Ah.
It's
And-
again. What up, homie? We're dark figures.
Yo.
Nigga.
Yo, dog,
A dark.
how you
gang.
doing?
I think. Yo, dog. How you doing? My name. No. Okay. Let's get back on the topic. So there's this one of our friends, Renz.
Oh yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, he also experiences sleep paralysis from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst thing he experienced was the recurring one, where for a specific amount of time, for example, he rests for an hour or two. He just keeps seeing the same things, looping over and over and
Oh.
over again.
Shite. This
Yes.
happened to me as well in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I was sleeping. I was sleeping in the office because it was the 1 hour break, and I slept at my desk, face down on my desk, and I had my phone standing on its side so that I can see the time. If I just lean that way, I'll be able to see it. And what happened was, I would look at it and then stand up. And then immediately, as soon as I start walking away from my chair, it loops back. And I'm lying down again. And then I look at the clock. And then I try to get up again. And then the moment I step
Yes.
away from my chair, it loops back.
Dude, that's some really crazy Groundhog Day shit.
Those were like, I was experiencing that, the dark figures, and then sometimes objects or things or creatures that actively try to touch me. Just like the hand, because that hand, I could see it clearly detailed. I can see the nails.
Was it polished or
No, they were long. Like
a creature?
Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Hobgoblin long.
something like that.
Oh.
And it's not from a dark figure, obviously, because I can see it. But I can't see the body that it's attached to. It's just the
But
hand.
the hand looks like a normal human's hand, like complete with skin and shit.
Yeah. It's like a
Like
normal
brown.
human's hand, but it's sort of disheveled. It's grimy.
Like a
and
grimy,
it has
grimy
maybe my brain sort of picked a random file of a horror movie or something.
Or a random file of a hobo. That would work. Yeah.
But yeah, it's so unnerving because you try to scream. This is the most painful part of it is you can't move, and when you try to scream, when you try to talk, nothing comes out of your mouth, and that just makes it more. That makes you panic because
Yeah.
that's the last thing that you can do to protect yourself is to just
Let it all
scream. But even that is denied when you experience sleep paralysis.
In rare cases, there are times when you're having sleep paralysis. You may perceive yourself that you're actually screaming, but you're not.
Mm.
There's that rare version of it.
I think I was that rare. That happened to me once, and the problem is, it's also a loop. So I was in our previous house.
Yeah.
I was asleep. Then I woke up. I went outside the room. I'm gonna get some what do you call this? Water from the refrigerator. And if you on our house in Quezon City, if you look right, remember there's the ref, right?
Yeah.
But if you look right, there's the long hallway towards the CR,
The bathroom.
Yes.
bathroom. Every time I open the fridge and close it, there's a girl. She screams, I scream, but nothing comes out. End of story. Repeat.
And then
Ah.
get loops.
Man, it's like it pick a random scene from a movie.
It's fucking The Grudge.
Sorry about the background noise. It's just a passing vehicle.
Or is it? No, but seriously, that was really scary for me because I didn't know if I was trapped in some fucking limbo shit. It didn't have any explanation at all. Who's that girl? Why is she screaming? And that I can clearly still remember the face of that girl. She's like a 11, 12-year-old girl. Bangs, but not the Korean straight bangs.
Yeah.
It's like, but she has bangs, straight hair. She doesn't look disheveled. She's not wearing the long gowns of white ladies. No, she just looks like a normal girl with shorts and what do you call this? Blouses or whatever you
It's
call
like
it.
a dress.
Yeah, just that, and she's just fucking screams.
That might be like one of the guardians of that place.
Why is she screaming at me? I was like there for several years now.
I don't know. Maybe she thinks you're raiding her refrigerator.
But you know,
But
that
I wasn't screaming. I just then it.
You opened your mouth and then nothing came out.
Yeah, I opened my mouth, nothing came out, and then
It loops.
that my analysis on that is at up to that point where you open the refrigerator, it's actually a dream.
Oh.
It's a dream that you cannot control. And then the moment you see the girl, immediately your
I'm
survival instincts kick in, and you try to control it.
The dream.
That becomes at that point
lucid.
it becomes lucid dreaming or sleep paralysis with sleep paralysis combined because you're trying to scream, and this scream is a real world action.
But that's something you do in a dream.
Yeah. And then
You have to readers to listeners. I dare you comment here if you've ever screamed in a dream.
yeah.
No, seriously.
It's a very painful and horrifying experience because that's the moment when you try to control it, and in the moment you try to control it, your brain sends you back to the starting point where you have no control. I think that's how it happens for
the
these loops, because the moment that you discover that you're dreaming and you're afraid, you try to control it. Your brain suddenly, hey, you can't
can't do
be doing that right now. Let's start over.
Because you're still on this X point of the REM sleep. So I'm not turning you on right now.
In lucid dreaming as well, I've had that before.
I keep having those.
Maybe
because it's the power of the singularity inside my soul. No, seriously, I always do lucid dreaming. Yeah, I've done it since I was in elementary. The first ever, I still remember. The first ever, it was like it wasn't astral projection, but I knew that I woke up and saw my mom and dad.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not awake.
I've had this dream or rather, dreamlike state wherein you're like awake, but you're not really awake.
You're not really awake.
You know that your eyes are closed, but you can see, and sometimes you can see through walls.
Yeah.
Have you had that experience as well?
Yeah,
AJ?
that's a normal thing. It's like you keep on switching from first person to third person. And what's something in pardon us for being in tangent for a while. What's good and the worst thing in lucid dreaming is they're actually the both the same thing is once you know that you're dreaming, sometimes the dream is really good, and you just don't once you know that fuck I'm dreaming, you just don't want to wake up. But that's the point where reality starts to kick in. You're starting to wake up, and that also can be said when you're like in a nightmare and fuck, this is a nightmare. I want to wake up, but it just continues on.
It keeps on going.
It keeps on going, and it's so annoying because at that moment, I clearly perceive like, fuck, this is a dream. I don't want to wake up, or fuck, this is a dream. I want to fucking wake up. This is already scaring me. I don't want to wake up like in a disheveled manner.
Yeah.
But that just happens, which is very similar to sleep paralysis. That point where you don't want or rather, you want to wake up, you want people to notice you, but it seems like there's no one who can hear you at that point. That's really scary. That's a really scary thought, and a really scary thing to happen to you.
Mm-hmm. I was never able to control these dreams because I've heard of people who can control them and experience dreams like they're the master of their universe or whatever.
That's really scary.
But for me, I was never able to control it, even if I was aware that I was dreaming.
I think
I never was able to exercise any power over my dreams.
I have a theory that dreaming is like peeking a window to a parallel universe.
Yeah?
Yeah, yourself in a parallel universe. Like the what ifs that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So once you start dreaming about that, except for the powers part, I think that's just you being Chunibu shit. But once you figure out this thing where you're like, oh, this feels very familiar. Once the dream, or you're in the dream and it feels very familiar, I think that's a parallel universe. I think that's a good topic to tackle in the next thing. And let's expound that on another episode. Right?
For me, I think dreaming is like, because like what you said a while ago, the brain records things that you don't know, right? So when you're dreaming, they're like simulations, like what the X-Men do. What would you do in this situation? What happens to me is I don't get the lucid dreaming thing, but what happens to me a lot since I was younger was I would dream of an event or something. Like, for example, we're eating turon right now. There will be times that I have dreamed of this scene right here when I was 10 years old, something like that.
Oh.
Sometimes it would be a bit closer, like a week ago, I would dream about something, and then something would happen now, and I would go, ooh.
Deja vu. I have been to this
I've
place
seen
before.
that cat before.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
I have been to this place.
But the sleep paralysis
Is that a fucking deja vu?
Deja vu.
I have
In this place
But-
before. Eurobeat.
But the sleep paralysis thing, yeah, that happens to me. Like, that happened to me a lot when I was in college.
Now Zara can't stop yapping. Fuck.
What would happen? What would happen?
I just recently discovered the magic of this song. I'm
The
sorry.
Eurobeat.
I'm sorry, but this meme hit me so late in my life, and I love it so much.
Eurobeat.
Back to sleep paralysis.
You know what, John? Give me this file.
Yeah.
I'll be the one to edit this.
Don't edit it out.
Don't edit this out.
I want to. Oh, since
You're gonna put a Eurobeat?
yeah, just put that part of deja vu at the end if you can.
Yeah. Sure. That would be our outro or whatever. Let's just do this anyway. Before we end,
Sleep paralysis.
we
and
would
deja
like
vu.
to actually we made this episode because we would like to reach out to people who's having sleep paralysis problems, because a lot of times people don't know that sleep paralysis is a serious thing.
Yeah.
This is in Filipino. A lot of people, or rather, here in the Philippines, a lot of people die from something called bangungot. This is when you're sleep paralyzed, can't do anything, but your body starts to warn you of dangers, even though it's not there.
You know what happens there is when sleep paralysis is happening, what's actually happening is your consciousness is turned on, but your body is shut down. It's the brain does that to your body for safety, because you can't be dreaming and like flailing all your arms. You'd cut yourself or break them.
Yeah.
But then the error happens, and then sleep paralysis happens. So people that die because of sleep paralysis, I think is because, you know, when you lie on your back,
Yeah.
you tend to the weight of your throat is on your back, so it just closes up, so the breathing is troubled.
Okay, so it's
That's what happens.
Is
It's
it
a
some sort of
physiological thing.
Is
Yeah.
it some sort of oxygen deprivation or
Yeah,
something?
and then of course there's the paranormal part of it,
No, I
which cannot
actually,
be explained.
yeah, I actually don't believe the paranormal part. I believe in
Yeah.
the scientific explanation of it because
Yeah.
a lot of people say also that when you do drugs,
Yeah.
these happen because when you do drugs, your body is introduced into a chemical, to something it's not used to,
Yeah.
and it reacts in a way that it's not used to.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you get sleep paralysis, bangungot,
Basically, any sort of
external
any
stimulation.
stimulation
yeah.
like that may cause this. Just make sure that if you're really tired, don't sleep on your back. You know, sleep on the
your
side,
Yeah.
and
Make sure you're not alone. If you feel like you're really tired,
mhm.
make sure you're not alone. At least get a cat or a dog because seriously,
It helps. It
helps.
helps.
It helps.
It helps that you there's something that you can reach for, because sometimes you can still move just a little bit. You can sort of regain a bit of movement when these things happen. It's helpful that you have some sort of totem or anything that helps you, gives you comfort, and make sure to just observe good sleeping habits. Have regular sleep, and if you're prone,
That like you're the one to talk, nigga.
and if you're prone to this happening, talk to your partner, talk to your siblings, and let them know that, hey, maybe if you hear me doing this, if you hear me steering in my sleep, just wake me up.
Just wake me up. Yeah.
And then they can't hear
the thing or like the myth about not waking people up when they're having nightmares or whatever. That shit.
Oh yeah, I mean just
Just
wake the person
people
up.
dude. Their soul isn't anywhere. Don't worry. Just wake them up. You'd be doing a bigger favor doing that than just.
Oh,
it's gonna end.
It's
gonna end soon.
You know one. You know one.
It's gonna end badly.
It's gonna
You know
end
one
badly
hack
if you wait.
to wake up during sleep paralysis.
Slap people.
No.
Aw.
If it's happening to you, for example, you try to move your little fingers first.
Yeah, that work.
And then
micro movement.
Yeah, micro movement, stuff like that. Or just
Movement, like
freaking
Koreans
sleep on
are-
your side.
Koreans don't get sleep paralysis. They're really good with micro movement. Like they have 10 actions per second. That's
Really-
insane.
Believe me, this is a very scary situation,
very
and whenever it happens, whenever the gang starts appearing, I become a religious person. Let me tell you right now, I start praying to a lot of the gods to help me.
Allah.
Any god that will help me.
Please just wake me up. Anyone, help.
Kanye West.
Anyway, that's that. Again, guys, if you're experiencing sleep paralysis, we would like you to reach out to us. Maybe we can help you if you're if you have a story.
Do a pray over.
Yeah, what do you call intervention?
Yeah, we can
Yes,
feature
yes.
your story here. We can
Yeah.
talk about it, and also we'll be putting in
Maybe
helpful links
Yes, helpful
Yeah.
in
links.
the description for sleep paralysis for people who experience this regularly.
Yes. Okay. So that's that for this episode. I hope you guys learned something and would actually again reach out if you're having these weird things happening to you, because this is a very serious situation that we would like less people to experience, if not eliminate it completely. Because we and we know that a lot of people around us don't want to lose special someone just because they fucked up in their dreams. That's one of the worst ways to go, man.
But of course, we can't prevent people who are curious, who wants to experience this for themselves. Just make sure that you follow safety procedures. Make sure that somebody is with you when you do this, when you try to induce it to yourself.
Don't take your finger off the coin and shit like that. Well, anyway, again, thanks for listening. I hope you guys had a great time, if not a scary time. Also, remember to subscribe if you like this video. The subscribe button is just below. Also, ring that bell. Click on it so you get notified when we have new videos.
And also, our socials are in the description. You can follow us in Facebook. Our Facebook page is in there. Just click on like to follow us.
Tweet us.
And yeah, our Twitter is in there too. And
we're gonna look at it after like a few months.
Also, visit John's channel. His YouTube channel link is in there as well. Like and subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
And AJ's channel is in there as well. Now, for Legendary Beats, our Facebook page is in there. So like us on Facebook.
Any last words? I mean, anything you would like to add? Sorry. I'm sorry. Wow.
We're dreaming right now.
Yeah,
wait.
Yeah.
I have an announcement.
Mm-hmm.
We're making short videos.
Woo!
Really soon. You wait for that. I'm not sleeping anymore. Because I'm editing stuff and recording stuff, and it'll be in June, I think.
Oh,
yeah, ready in
there
June.
you go.
We're gonna be giving off a bigger, what do you call this? Announcement when the time comes. When the time is right.
When we're awake.
When we're awake. Well, I think. Excuse me. Well, anyway, that's that for this episode. Again, thank you for listening, guys. Bye bye.
Wake up.
Bye-bye.
Remember to feel real.